Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Welcome, thank you. Make sure you subscribe, all the usual stuff. Follow me on social networks, everything, okay? If this is your first time, definitely welcome. If this is your 3,000th time, thank you as well. Hopefully you get some value out of this. So as you may or may not know, the way this works is you send me a question and I will try my best to answer it. And if it's a really good question, or if it's really quick, like today's are good and quick, okay? Good in the sense that you can't really Google this information and find out. Well, you kind of could, so I'm going to get into it, but I'll do a video if it's good or if it's easy, okay, not to get too sidetracked here. So today, and I'll keep you anonymous, that's the most important part, because in this industry, people tend to want to remain anonymous. I get it, I work in the industry. I am not just talking about clinical research. I've owned and operated research clinics since 2005 full-time, and I've been working in the industry for a few years before that. So today's two questions from two separate viewers. They're very much unrelated, but they're quick, okay? So the first one is from a research site. They're having issues drawing blood from a patient, and which means their staff or their research assistant can't find the veins or can't get blood, can't draw blood for whatever reason. In this case, it was because of rolling veins, but sometimes it might be because of really thin veins or inaccessible veins or just a number of causes, right? So study coordinators, they can get certified on drawing blood. They can take safety phlebotomy courses, get certified. They're typically not as good as real phlebotomists because they don't do 100 blood draws a day, right? They have other things to do. So at my sites, we've had study coordinators draw blood, but once I started noticing some problems, such as this one, some hard to access veins, rolling veins, I looked to get medical assistants, even if they were just interns, in the office, because all they do, I mean literally a medical assistant is going to graduate from school, go on to be a phlebotomist or a medical assistant, in which case they'll be doing phlebotomy at a doctor's office. So they're trained on this stuff. They do like hundreds of these a day. We brought a bunch of interns in. Prior to doing that, and you can call the intern a research assistant or a medical assistant and have them help you with other things besides drawing blood, specifically vital signs and processing lab samples. But let's say you don't want to go that route. Maybe it's a little too complicated. Maybe you don't want that many people in and out of your office, because they will send you lots of interns once you are accepted as a company that hires medical assistant interns. That may not be practical for some of you smaller sites. Another route to go is to hire a phlebotomist, okay, a mobile phlebotomist. So this person's not going to be an employee, but you're going to have them on call, be available as needed. They're relatively pricey based on where you are located in the country, anywhere from $150 to $300 for mobile phlebotomy services. What I do not recommend you do under any circumstance, unless you're affiliated with a large lab like Quest and you've worked with them in the past and you have a working relationship with them, I would not send your patients to Quest or to LabQuest or any of those big companies that do blood, because they're going to screw up the paperwork. They're going to bill the patient regardless of how many times you tell them you're paying cash. Chances are they're going to bill the patient's insurance. They're just too big to be able to handle clinical research activities because they're so used to having their procedures and their processes that they follow. So definitely do not work with them. Plus, they're not in the business of just drawing blood and giving you the tubes back so you can process the samples. Where they really make their money is processing the samples, right? So drawing the blood is not where they make their money. They make their money processing specific tests. That's where they can bill the insurance companies. So you're not going to get their cooperation either. They're not going to be interested in this. So mobile phlebotomy is the way to go. Another creative thing you can do is if in your medical building there is one of these big groups like Quest or LabQuest or one of the big laboratory companies. And if you're on good terms with one of their phlebotomists, you can have them come in. You're going to have to kind of do this under the table, because I'm sure their employer is not going to want to know that every 5 minutes or so this person's going across the hall to the research clinic to draw blood. But I've done that too. I did whatever needed to get done to not have any protocol deviations. And so you can do that, and if it's the same phlebotomist that you're using over and over again, you can even put them on the delegation of duties log, so that they can sign off that they've obtained lab samples, so you can be legit about it. But you can do that, all right? And the reason I say keep it under the table is because we don't want them to get in trouble with their employer for doing this. They may not be allowed to do that, right? So a little bit of skill and finesse is involved that route, which is why I'm only mentioning it as a third and distant option. But you should definitely be okay with the mobile phlebotomy for sure. That's what they're there to do. You only pay them when you need them, and they're independent contractors, or medical assistant interns, okay? Or find another coordinator who can draw the blood, or have the PI do it, although PIs usually don't draw blood, so it's kind of ironic, but they're not actually good at drawing blood, okay, just because they don't do it. We've had PIs try to draw blood. Some of them are pretty good at it, some don't want to do it. Next question, totally separate question, about PIs though. How do I pay a PI? So I've gone through the technical stuff, how much percentage, fee for service, monthly stipend. So if you have a PI that you're paying as an employee, so you're either going to give them a monthly stipend or a fee for service, but more than likely it's going to be a monthly stipend if they're an employee. They're going to need to be put on your payroll, and then the payroll company is going to take taxes out of the paycheck and take care of quarterly filings for the state and all that other stuff. So you don't actually want to be doing that yourself. You want to definitely outsource this to a payroll company along with your study coordinators and anyone else who you have on the payroll. Please, if you're a research site owner, do not try to save $70 a month by handling the payroll yourself. It's a real pain. You're gonna mess up at some point. You're not gonna file properly. Issues happen, okay? W-2s are not gonna get issued on time. Don't do that. $70 a month, get a good payroll company, ADP, Paychecks, or your bank, whoever you bank with. They have in their business department, most of the major ones have payroll services, okay? If you're gonna pay a PI as a contractor, which is what I recommend most of you do at first, because you want to keep expenses to a minimum, you have to collect their name, their address, their social security number. So you collect this on a W-9 form. That's a request for taxpayer information. You then give that form to your CPA and you tell them, this is my independent contractor. You have the independent contractor sign an agreement with you. You give that to the CPA as well, and you tell the CPA, look for transactions coming out of my checking account going to this person. He or she is an independent contractor. They need to be issued a 1099 form at the end of the year. Okay, and again, don't try to do that yourself. Get your accountant, your bookkeeper, your CPA, whoever it may be, to do that, right, for a minimal fee as well. Okay, so hopefully that helps. When you pay an independent contractor, they're responsible for their own taxes. When you pay an employee, the company is supposed to withhold things like taxes, SSI, make quarterly filings on their behalf. In both cases, you want to outsource that either to a payroll company or to your CPA or bookkeeper. Okay. Hopefully these questions help. Make sure you follow me on Snapchat, all right, Dan Sfera, as well as every other social network, and keep your questions coming in. They're good. All right. Take care.